Hi everybody. Okay, sorry for the hair, but you know, that happens when you put it on your head. Okay. So why now is really good for Thursday? Because Thursday could be an if or day. It could be good or bad. So, but oh my god. Um I might admit a couple of things here and it's kind of shocking and not. But I Okay. What's really funny about me is that I cry at commercials. I cry when people sing and it's really, really good, or, you know, all that. Okay. What I normally don't cry at is soap operas because, I mean, bad things happen every day, or something happens every day. So it takes a lot for me to cry at a soap opera. Okay, that being said, I I got some resolution on the one storyline, and there's other storylines that aren't resolved yet, but it's coming. So, all right. The storyline and the whatever unknown is now known in a matter of 2 days. Um, okay. So, Heather's body was discovered, or so we thought yesterday, right? Okay. Now, today, they said that it is Heather's body, and Daniel had to go identify it. So, it is Heather. Um, all right. So that means, obviously, Frail Bloom is out. And I mean out. So that changes things. And in one fell swoop, they wrote a storyline that involves everybody, basically everybody on the campus. How is this possible? Okay, I'm going to do a little web for you, if you will. Now you have to keep track of what I'm saying here. Okay, so Heather died. Heather is Paul's daughter, right? Okay. And then also Phyllis's daughter-in-law or ex-daughter-in-law for the time that Daniel and Heather were married. Um, Phyllis is Lucy's grandmother, Daniel's mother, so it obviously affects her on Daniel's side, but it affects her on everyone's side. Okay, and then it affects Nick because it affects Phyllis because Phyllis is Summer's mother and Nick is Summer's father. And let's see, who else am I forgetting? Oh, it affects Victor, although not directly, but he is Summer's grandfather. So you see what I'm saying? This one incident involves everybody, pretty much. Oh, and it might even affect Lily, although not really majorly, but she dated and was married to Daniel for a time too when they were teenagers. So just on a friendship level, it would affect her as well. So see, it affects a lot of people. Okay. So, getting back to what made me cry. Um, and it didn't start out as like an ugly cry. That doesn't happen very often. It really doesn't. But I did have a tear or two running down my cheek when Lucy found out her mother was dead. And she did the thing that I think most people do, which is at first she didn't believe it. And then secondly, she tried to rationalize it and say it wasn't that. And then when she finally found out that it was true and there was no other possibility, she lost it. And when she lost it, I lost it because, or a little bit, because I was thinking about the last conversation she had with her and how it was not pleasant and it didn't end with I love you, and that made me tear up. Okay, what really broke me was when Daniel was telling her about it, right? And then she cries at least twice, and then she goes into her room, and then Daniel loses it. For a guy, he loses it because he kicks over a chair, a nice chair, okay? Kicks over the chair and starts crying, sobbing, crying, and does the very intricate maneuver of falling down while crying, resting his head on the piano. Man, okay. I always talk about actor and actress of the day or whatever. I do say that sometimes, okay? Hands down. Uh, yeah, he gets the prize. He gets the prize because wow, wow. Um, I could feel every emotion from his face, and then when he lost it, I was this close to losing it. I mean, really losing it because number one, you don't normally see a man cry, so when it happens, it's huge. Okay, and like I said, somehow they teach actors how to fall gracefully and just fall and then be cradled by an object. It's genius, genius, and he is the best. And man, when he cries, I, I'm like, whoa, he's crying, and I mean really. Okay, wow, all right. So then, okay, so then getting on to the next part because I could talk about this all day. But yeah, so Michael Grasday, you get my vote, okay? If you don't get an Emmy nom from this, something's wrong here. Okay. So to go on, Phyllis happens to show up at the door, and she says, "Okay, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Just say." I'm like, "Okay, okay, cool." Then Lucy, I guess Lucy hears the voices in the room from her bedroom, and she comes out and she loses it on Phyllis, like crying, sobbing. I'm like, all right, okay. So move on from that scene because that was kind of quick, right? And then they decide to go out to the park, and just so happens Sharon is there. Okay, and I could do a whole nother piece on Sharon's. Well, I'm not gonna say like I don't want to say the wrong word, but I feel like Sharon's character is on a very tenuous basis right now, and if one thing falls, it's like dominoes, and it's going to be a disastrous effect here. Um, because and and also, I meant to say this before, so I'm sorry. It's not that I didn't forget it. I wasn't thinking about it at the time. Okay, um, all this stuff happens, right? And supposedly, Cameron Herson's ghost is the reason why this stuff happened, right? Okay, so everybody's talking about how do you have an argument with a figment of your imagination? Yeah, no, I was thinking that too. Like, how is it? Like, it's not possible. You wouldn't do that in normal life. Okay. Um, and yet again, they're having an argument today about, well, you told me that if I did this, then nothing would come back to me. And oh my God. So, what does this mean? And then she's starting to spiral and say, well, what does this mean? Does it mean they're going to have an investigation? And if they have an investigation, they could pin it on me. And oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, yeah, but Sharon, you can't lose it because if you lose it, then you start talking and you start talking and it's not going to end well. Um, okay, so they happen to be in the park and I'm trying to put myself in Sharon's head, okay? And I'm trying to say to myself, what would I be thinking if I was her in the park with these two people that you've altered their life? Because I believe this, and this goes outside of soap operas, but also in soap operas. The truth will come out, okay? So the fact that you think you can hide anything is not possible. Not possible. Okay? So Sharon is gonna get her comeuppance at some point. Um, the only question now about that is when. But yeah, it's gonna happen. Um, so I'm thinking, how are you being sane and normal with these two people that you altered their life? How is it possible? How? How? She's gonna have a mental breakdown. And I'm not for a mental breakdown. I'm just saying that that's going to be the cause and effect of this. Yeah. So yeah. Uh, check back in with me about that. Probably. Well, if not tomorrow, next week. I don't know. This is just how I see it because how is it not possible that she's gonna break? Um, and Oh, and as far as the other side for the actress of the day, I have to give it to Lily Brooks O'Brien as Lucy, because oh my god, I felt her pain when she was going through the whole thing. I really did. So kudos. All right, bye guys.